Hey guys, I thought we would have a little fun at my expense today, and also I would attempt to answer a question from a student, and I'm going to give you some time to work on this in class, but here's a resource for you if you have a similar situation. So the student question, which is an excellent question, was, Mr. Sherris, what do I do if I recorded section by section? Do I do what you did in your previous video where you export to the loop library, but for every single time? And so if that doesn't make sense to you, let's just let's create this scenario for you. Okay, so everyone knows, and this is, I'm okay with this, but I played a really wrong note, right? And if my memory serves me correctly, it's just about here. So I have a couple scenarios to float for you, okay? Scenario number one is that I actually have a usable take, or at least I have that note correct. My tone is not so great right here. What I can do, because I have larger takes, but this is going to be the same process for my student who had this question. What I can do is I can, whoops, I did not mean to move that. I can split this region right here, okay? If you did not see what I did, I used a keyboard command, but you can right click and do split region. You can see my shortcut here is Command E, but on a PC or a Chromebook, it's probably Control E. Okay, this is the bad note, and what I could do, since there's a very convenient rest right here, is I could snip that right there. Now, my tone on this particular note is much better in take 3 than it is on take 2. It's possible that you can see that that note begins approximately here. And again, this is a visual task. I'm looking at waveforms. Give it a little bit of room, but I'm going to split both of these tracks in the same place. Okay, so this is the wrong note that I don't want. I'm going to get rid of that. This track is going to be split in the same place, and I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to trim this guy out here. So essentially what you have is two tracks that accomplish the music. Okay, so no wrong note, thank goodness. But what I just want to make sure that I coach you very carefully on this. You can't have any of the other parts of the track that you don't want here. Okay, because what we're about to do, this is such an awesome idea. We're going to go under the settings menu. I think this can only be done from the settings menu. And you're going to choose merge tracks. And so it's take 2 and take 3 that I want to merge. And when I do that, this is real time, you're going to see that it creates one take, which is called merged. Actually, start this earlier. All right, so it is a little bit hard to hear, and I think I know what I did wrong. But anyway, my point is that if you had multiple steps of the project, like you had done every 8 measures, you had recorded every 8 measures, what that does is allow you the opportunity to merge all of those tracks into one, as long as you've organized them. Now I'm going to show you what my mistake was, by the way, okay? Mistake number 1 is that these tracks are really not at the same volume level. They're not balanced at all. So before I really merge those, this is muted. That's a little bit too loud. So I'm going to turn that down just so it sort of matches the volume. This is by ear, not by sight. I mean, yes, these two settings are about the same, and I was probably sitting the same distance from the microphone, but... And they do sound very similar. I do still think this one's a little bit on the loud side. Here's the other problem. When I recorded these, I was doing an experiment. And on take 2, I had used the voice church. It actually adds a little bit of resonance. It's pretty, but I don't want that. What I really wanted was a clean sound, and you'll learn why later. But if I change that to clean, and I'm pretty sure that this one is also on clean. It is. Great. When I merge them, again, under settings, merge tracks, and my take 2 and 3, it should play back without that extra bump in volume. The waveforms should look a little more similar to they were before, and now I have a pretty seamless track. Of course, it's it's muted, but so it plays the track, it plays through, and I was able to accomplish all the edits that I needed to. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have more than one mistake that you'd like to edit out, but you have several takes, you can also invest some time editing all those mistakes out, and just make sure from left to right in a linear way you have each of those sections correct. So for example, I'm a little bit I'm just gonna be sloppy here for a second. Let's just pretend that this section right here needs to be from this purple track, and so what I really should do is trim all three of these in the same locations. If I was going to use takes from all three, I would delete the ones that I don't want. So you can see from left to right, I have all of these notes, all of this, and let's just say that I was going to come back and use all of this, but I needed something from the third take right here. So I'll go through all my tracks, I'll split in the same location. If it's this that I'm going to keep, like maybe up to here, for example, I will, whoops, that's the wrong place. I'll split all three of these tracks, and I'll make sure that whatever I'm subbing out, I have from left to right a linear fashion of all of those tracks. And I can merge more than two tracks. I could merge all of these tracks if I wanted to. And so if I click that merge track under settings, merge tracks, now I would just choose all three of those tracks and it would merge them all together into one usable track. Just double check that you're listening to the volume levels so that they're approximately the same volume. Okay? All right, good luck.